Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside with me today. Although it's not my normal cup of tea, today I'd like to talk about traditional archery and in particular this Mandarin duck Phantom recurve. I'm very excited to have received this bow. I've been in bad need of a recurve, a hunting recurve. This fit the bill perfectly for me. It is a three-piece takedown recurve with a black powder-coated riser, black Canadian maple and black fiberglass limbs. The riser is drilled and tapped to receive a sight housing as well as a burger buttonhole to have some sort of rest. The grip on it is not unlike most compound grips and actually it feels almost identical to the Hoyt Carbon Element bow that I do own. It's been a fantastic little recurve for me. I'd like to go a little bit more in depth with it, talk about the specifications of the bow and how I've enjoyed shooting it. I set the brace height of my bow to be 7 inches. After putting it on the drawboard at the industry standard of 28 inches, I found that it came to exactly 40 pounds. At the advertised length of 29 inches, it came to 42 pounds. So all in all, I've really enjoyed shooting this bow. You know, being a compound person, it's really nice to kind of take a step back and go back to the roots, if you will, of archery, even though this is a takedown three-piece and, you know, the riser's, you know, made out of metal and the limbs are, you know, as fabricated as you could possibly get. But it's nice just to take a step back and occasionally go out in the woods or go out in the yard and just sling a few arrows the old-fashioned way. But for all the good things about this bow that I've had and the good experiences, there have been some negatives, and I don't necessarily would say have been deal breakers considering the price point of this bow, but they've definitely been kind of frustrating as I've been shooting it. The number one thing for me was the weight in terms of the poundage discrepancy. So as you saw earlier in the video, this bow only comes back to about 40 pounds at 28-inch draw. The archery industry standard for a recurve is the poundage measured up to a 28-inch draw length. I have all these arrows that I had planned to shoot out of this bow that no longer can be spined correctly for this bow for shooting it off the shelf. I was having an incredibly frustrating time before I put it on the scale trying to spine some 500 spine arrows coming out of it. I just could not get them to fly right. I could not get a bare shaft to fly with a fletch shaft. I was getting some weird kick angles off the riser, and I was getting my riser shelf was starting to show some wear in terms of the pad that I put on it to be able to shoot off the shelf. And so putting it on the draw table, I was able to see it was only pulling 40 pounds. I was 5 pounds under, and so I had to throw in a 100 grain brass insert. I had to throw on a 150 grain point, and only then was I able to have good arrow flight and get arrows to go down range. But then I was, you know, over 100 grains heavier in terms of air weight that I wanted to be for this setup. You know, is it a deal breaker? I don't think it is, because, you know, we're talking less than $100 shipped to your door, and for how sturdy it is and everything, I just, it's not a deal breaker for me if I wanted a really cheap recurve just to take out in the backyard and shoot. But for somebody like me who likes to be a little more fickle with his equipment and really focus in and hone in on you know, correct spine and correct poundages of bows and really making it as accurate as possible, it was a little bit annoying. The second thing I'll mention, and again it's not really a deal breaker because of the price point and also because of its design, it was an incredibly loud bow right out of the box. And you notice I haven't put any string silencers or anything on it, but you might be able to hear how loud that is. Now, I don't have any string silencers on here. I haven't done anything to the limbs to silence them or the riser design. But typically takedown bows are noisier than one-piece bows just because there's a lot more moving parts in here, tolerances within the pocket, and metal riser three-piece takedown recurves are notoriously loud. That was really annoying to me, is how loud it was. But again, it's not really a deal breaker, and I knew it was going to be loud. Actually, I used the decibel app on my phone, and this bow was actually coming out louder at 40 pounds with a, you know, 29-inch draw, so 43 pounds with a 545 grain arrow. It was actually louder than my Hoyt shooting at 63 pounds with a 476 grain arrow, and also, you know, probably close to 100 feet faster, feet per second faster. I knew it was going to be loud. I didn't like it being loud. I haven't really taken any steps to make it quieter because I don't really care. I'm not taking this bow out in the woods, not this year, so maybe if I want to in the future, I'll find a way to try to silence up the limb pockets, silence up the limbs, definitely add something to the string to quiet it down. But yeah, just really the poundage and the discrepancies with spine with the arrows and the noise. Those are only two things that really bugged me. The fit and finish on it is fantastic. I have to commend Mandarin duck for the price point of the bow. The fit and finish on this thing is just fantastic. The powder coating has held up really well. The grip has held up really well. Nothing started to fall apart. I have nicked and dinged up the riser a little bit, and none of the powder coating is flaking off. I haven't seen any cracks or splinters in the limbs. There are marks on here for me scuffing around in my yard and scuffing around in my basement. The string is just a cheap Dacron string. It's held up really well. It has stretched a little bit. But that's pretty typical with Dacron, but I haven't seen any issues. Limb tips are holding up really well, even digging them off the concrete here in the basement or in the grass and bud in the yard. Haven't had any fit and finish issues or anything breaking or splinting or cracking so far. I mean, I haven't put thousands of shots through, but I put a fair amount of use into it, and I haven't seen a single problem with it. So I have to commend Mandarin Duck on that. The fit and finish for the price point in particular definitely far exceeds what its monetary potential should technically be. So that's all for this video. Again, I want to thank Mandarin Duck for sending me the Phantom Recurve. If you want to pick up one yourself, you can go down and follow the links in the description below. It'll take you to their website. You can buy one for yourself there. You'll wait a little while, but it might be worth your while. So I hope you're able to get outside and enjoy the sport of archery, enjoy the sport of traditional archery and archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation, and we'll get to see you next time.